parents is that kids are like beautiful in the sense that they're such great absorbers and they're sponges, right? And that's why you could teach a kid like 10 languages and they'll learn it all in like a week, right? But also it doesn't go so well because they also pick up on that bad stuff too, right? And kids are really good at sensing environments that are stressful, highly anxious, and they will internalize it. That's the other thing about kids as well, is the world revolves around them, right? It's just how kids work. So it's not that, mom can't play with them because mom is busy and doing work. It's mom can't play with them because mom doesn't like me, right? And kids are so good at internalizing and blaming themselves for everything because they don't have enough world experience to realize actually everything doesn't revolve around me, you know? And they learn that when they get older, but it's too late by that time. Right? So, I mean, really it can affect anyone at any age. The other thing I've noticed with children and kids is that anxiety and depression come out in very different ways. Because again, kids don't really have that understanding to know what anxiety and depression is. So instead of being like, I am anxious or I'm thinking a lot of thoughts, it'll often come out in physical symptoms. So when kids have anxiety, they'll get stomach aches and headaches. Stomach aches is actually a very, very common symptom. Even depression, it might come out as like irritability and anger and all these emotional outbursts, right? Because again, they don't know the emotions that they're experiencing. So yeah, really it can go as young as it goes. Yeah, there's no age cutoff, unfortunately.
It's crazy that you say that. Like, it's not, it's finally, as we were mentioning before, like we're starting to bring up these issues of mental health, and we don't really think about how young it can go. And you're mentioning middle school, like I never would have imagined that, right? And of course, it's becoming a little bit more prevalent. I mean, you have differing home environments and such, but as you were mentioning, them being sponges, they could take any of that from home. And I love the fact that you mentioned just as much potential as they have to learn as much as they possibly can, that same potential also will be able to, take in any of the negatives as well and the cons as well of life. And it's just I had to ask because I want to know, like, how young can it go? And so you've done for middle school, elementary, you've worked with adults, I'm assuming, as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you've seen all sorts of cohorts, eh?
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
elementary, I haven't been able to work one-on-one, but a few weeks ago I was doing a workshop for elementary school students, and I kid you not, I almost usually I don't tear up during workshops, even when I share my story, just because I've been doing it for years now. I am almost like immune to it. But wow, this workshop, I literally almost like choked up and teared up because these kids, like grade 1, grade 2, and I was going through a storybook with them about anxiety and coping mechanisms. And I asked some of them, right? Like, do you feel stressed out? Do you feel anxious? And so many of the classes shouted out, yes, we feel anxious, we feel stressed. And it was nice that they were being vulnerable and sharing that. But at the same time, my heart almost broke a little bit because I'm just like, a 6-year-old feeling stressed and anxious. It's like they should be worried about what toy to play with next. It's just it's true. It's
I
it's a little
know.
it's a little heartbreaking.
No, I agree. I'm sorry. I just laughed because it's true. It's like I'm thinking about myself at that age. Like I'm pretty sure I was just like grabbing the next like wrestling toy or something, and now having to think
Yeah.
about that, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
of course, every period of time has its pros and cons. As we didn't have that many distractions as during my time, toys were
Yeah.
like our thing or sports were our
Yeah.
thing. Now,
Yeah.
you're pulled in so many different angles. So I'm sure, you get stressed from different ways.
If you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. To support more youth by youth led projects, visit us at youthspeak.ca, where you can donate and spread youth mental health awareness.
YouthSpeak Performance Charity. Speak, inspire, change.